Hi everyone, I am Venugopal from Team CloudyML. Welcome back to another amazing podcast. Today we have with us a very special guest, Ayan, who has just begun their journey in the field of data science. Ayan is a fresher with a bachelor's degree in biochemical engineering and has chosen to pursue a career in data science. So he is currently working as an analyst. So Ayan, welcome to this channel and tell us a bit about yourself and how you're doing.
Yeah. So hi Venu, I am Ayan, and as you mentioned, I completed my graduation in 2022 from Jadavpur University, Kolkata,
Hmm.
and currently I am working at Polestar Solutions, which is a global analytics firm where we build data-oriented solutions for our clients across the world. And speaking a bit about myself, I always wanted to choose a path in technology, which was where I would have kind of like right hands-on experience with building products which related to data and all that. But
Mhm.
there was some other restrictions from my side also, like I have like previously while preparing for joint examinations, I had a kind of tough period. So right after that, as you see, when we join an engineering college, people like our type of people already get into competitive programming and type people already get into like management, MBA and all those degrees. I was
Yeah.
somewhat in the middle. So I was kind of getting undecided on whether to kind of go that competitive path again, like do all that code shape, code forces, all that grind again, and all the whether to go towards an MBA side. That's where I kind of discovered analytics. As the because I feel that analytics is that perfect path, which is the blend between the technical skills you require for programming job and also the management skills you require. And thereon from my I guess second year when COVID hit, yeah, that's when I started getting serious. I did some courses related to analytics. Obviously, first learned Python because that's the go-to language, as we all know, for like picking up any like analytics work in this field. Obviously, there are others, but Python is obviously the most important one. Learned Python, then started like kind of exploring data sets, exploring Kaggle. From there, picked up on my technical skills a bit. Also, I was lucky enough, although I had biochemical engineering as my major, I had taken a elective course on machine learning, which kind of set me in that way towards this part. Although at that time I didn't know that I would be doing this job where I would be actually using machine learning later in my job. But yeah, that also kind of helped me to get oriented with all these technologies and all that. And coming towards my placement side, indeed also I got my job here at Polestar Solutions, and here at Polestar, they were kind of trying to expand their data science team. And that's why I got in. Yeah. So that basically has been my story so far. Right now.
Great. That's interesting. So, yeah, like you said, you have done your bachelor's in biochemical engineering, right?
Hmm.
And like, what are the biggest challenges that you faced when you were transitioning from biochemical engineering to data science field? Like, could you just throw some light on that? Because there are many people who are trying to transition from different domain to data science, right? And yours is that case itself. So you have transitions from biochemical engineering to data science, right? So if you could just tell us what are the different big challenges you faced in your journey, that would be really helpful. Yeah.
Sure. The first and the foremost challenge when people uh, kind of try to transition towards this data-oriented fields, particularly data scientists, that they are kind of stuck. Like speaking from my personal experience, I was stuck, as in to see this like vast experience as to where to go, like whether to start with machine learning first, and also for like the problem we face, like those who are transitioning from a non, let's say non CS or non statistics mathematics background, is that we don't have that understanding as to where to actually start from. So a very example I can pick out is that when I was exploring these Kaggle data sets, I would like kind of try to like do my best. Like you can understand, right? Like in Kaggle, basically the following statement would be given and you would be asked to predict something.
Yeah.
And anyone who has worked a little bit in the industry would know that in the industrial scenario, that's not always the case. Like there won't be this definite problem statement. There won't be this clean data set which will be provided to you, and we just asked to just build a model and then go home. Obviously, you have to work on the data set and all that. So here, so my understanding of what machine learning is, what data science is, was kind of more dependent on this Kaggle datasets, which I had worked on. And to be very honest, achieving like an okay accuracy on this Kaggle datasets weren't that are not that kind of difficult. Like provided if you are kind of if you work on them enough. So it was on those times where I was kind of or I thought that like is data science so easy? Like you just pick out a data set, you just apply this bunch of algorithms and just like have this metric and it's done. So this was where the problem I faced, because and I think that majority of people who start data science in this way, who explore machine learning in this way from a non-CS background, kind of face this problem. So these are the this was one problem I think, and second is one is you for data science for a career in data, you need to have strong understandings of statistics fundamentals, right? And majority of us like don't have that kind of strong statistics background. Obviously, we had studied calculus from because I'm from engineering background, and obviously
Yeah.
anyone from an engineering background has studied calculus, has studied linear algebra, but those are kind of a thing of the past, right?
Yeah.
So coming from there to also master statistics part is also a very difficult, because talking from an industrial scenario, you need to have a very good stronghold of statistics to first begin with data science. Then of course you can pick up the ML algorithms part. Then of course there is deep learning, and then of course you can move on. So I would say these are the main two problems which I faced. First was this huge syllabus, I would say, huge syllabus which was there in front of me, and I didn't know how to start and where to begin. And secondly was this technical understanding and this like statistical knowledge which I lacked. So yeah.
Understood, understood. So that is totally relative, I would say. So the first thing was like there is abundance of syllabus, like there is large amount of syllabus, and you were not clear like how to tackle that.
Right.
And
Right.
the second thing was, uh, what was the second thing? Could you just repeat it once again? I totally forgot that.
Yeah, sure. Like a strong understanding of statistics.
Got it, got it. So as you said, these two were the problems that you faced. Like, how did you tackle that? So how did you overcome that? So as you said, there is a large amount of syllabus, right? Like some people try to pick up one topic and try to study that and then move on to the next topic. And when it comes to statistics as well, so it is not only about the conceptual that side, but it also depends on how you apply those statistical concepts to other domain specific things, right? So how did you learn those? So was
Yes.
it via experience, or did you do some courses, or did you work on some projects? Like how did you tackle that?
Yes. So I like what I used to do in the beginning was I kind of used to reach out to those people in LinkedIn where would be working in like would be working as a data scientist, and also that I'd kind of interact with them as to how they started their data science journey and all that. And so from them, I also would get to know about what projects they had done. And what I would do is that like obviously like they wouldn't like kind of describe whatever they had done, but what I used to do was pick out the main things on which they had worked on, and if that knowledge of that particular thing wasn't present inside me, I would go and study them from YouTube on order. A particular example I'd like to cite is that this senior I had reached out, they had worked on an industrial project using Gaussian mixture model. So me as a very beginner, I was totally unaware of what a Gaussian mixture model is.
Yeah.
So I kind of picked out that word. Okay, so Gaussian mixture model, I don't know this. So I immediately later after I like searched YouTube, and then obviously the YouTube is obviously a great resource for learning anything.
Yep.
So this is actually a way in which I kind of picked up on all those things, so, like things which you need on a more organizational level, like all like what can I say, things which are like not just on the basic level. Yeah.
Understood. Understood. Yeah, yeah. So,
Secondly, I also used to like go on forums for data science.
mhm.
Like I don't know if anyone who uses Reddit. In Reddit there are many subreddits for data science. So I used to go there and I used to look at the post on those subreddits and used to like kind of observe what people there are like discussing about, what topics they are discussing about. The resumes that would be posted there, I used to like do the same thing, like pick out those particular points, particular topics which I wasn't unaware of, and I used to later study them. And this is in this way, and also LinkedIn also did, as I mentioned, play a very good role. particularly the LinkedIn algorithm, as when you are like interacting with these people, automatically they would suggest, let's say, a post made by some people in data science. Uh, from that particular post, maybe there would be some links to other some topics in this way. Yeah. So my way of knowledge was more in a scattered way, but also what I had, I'm talking about courses, I had done some basic Udemy courses and Coursera courses on like CNN and LSTM and all that. And I had also I wouldn't say read two books, but I had consulted those books, and I still do it from time to time. Like one is that O'Reilly's book on statistics, 50 essential concepts. That book I had consulted, and which I think is a really good book for any beginner to like kind of start with the statistical concepts. And also, yeah, and also I had followed some, I follow and still follow, that is to say, many content creators on YouTube who like make videos on data science and all that. So
Okay.
yeah, and last but not the least, obviously my experience in my company, which would obviously has helped me a lot in gaining this kind of a stronghold in data science.
Understood, understood. So yeah, so this is really good, like how we have overcome those problems. So this will be really helpful for those who are facing the similar problems, so they will be able to relate it and try to work as you work. So this would be like an example. So that was the reason for asking this question behind that. So one more question, like many freshers feel that it is really tough to get into data science, right? And many people feel that it definitely requires experience. Now, as you said, you're a 2022 graduate, and as a fresher, you got a chance into data science field itself as an analyst, right? So, what do you feel about that? Is it really tough to get into data science as a fresher, or what do you feel about it?
Hmm, I feel that in the current scenario, it's uh, it's kind of tough for a fresher to break into data science directly. But as you said, for me itself, I am not an exact data scientist by profession. I am an analyst who works in data science. So I would say this kind of roles are becoming very common for freshers, where you work in these analytics consulting firms, and you start as an analyst, senior analyst, but you would work in data science, and since you are like those who had worked in product based companies, they would know like there's a difference between how you work in a data science in a product based company and in this analytics consulting companies. So I would say directly breaking into those data science role in product based companies for a fresher is kind of a bit difficult if you are like a fresher, and unless you have a obviously, but as I have also researched on it a bit, for a fresher it's kind of difficult. But if you have a very good portfolio, and you have kind of say some like very good knowledge on data science firstly, and a good portfolio, there are chances. And secondly, there are a lot of companies like mine, and there are also other analytics consulting companies which actually do pick up freshers, and like you will get a job role like analyst, senior analyst, and you would be working in data science, like you would be building like data science solutions for clients, advanced analytics solutions for clients. So for these companies, I would say like it's a little bit more less restrictive to get into data science job directly uh,
Got it.
in this companies. And
Got it.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, like, based on what you said, like, what you're saying is getting into like getting a data scientist role is little difficult when compared to getting a analyst role. Is it like a fresher can get an analyst role first, and then based on experience, like as the time grows, he or she might transition into data scientist job, right?
Right.
Cool, cool, cool. So, and another thing I would like to add to that is like most of the companies during this recession time as well try to hire candidates as an intern. Like those who are freshers, they can first get into this field as an intern, gain some experience as an intern. Either they can go to the same company as an analyst or a data scientist, or they can use that experience in order to get another data science job. So just I wanted to add that another point. I hope this will be useful for freshers out there. And yeah, so I think that answers that question really well. Now, next question. So, as you said, you were transitioning towards this data science field, right? So, how did you prepare your profile? Like, what all things did you include in your profile so that it stood out to them and you got an offer from them? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So I had a lot of analytics projects. Like firstly, like starting out, my Python knowledge was decent enough. Like although as I mentioned, I kind of restricted myself to doing lead code like endlessly for the software rules. But my Python knowledge was firstly decent enough, and that I feel is that basic stepping stone every like fresher needs to like fulfill. Like they need to have at least a medium level level of understanding, and like they need to be easy, really easy with like Python. And secondly, I had done some like analytics projects, like some EDA, and I had picked out some hotel reviews data set, and then I like using wave scraping, I scraped the data and I had done some EDA, and I had on top of that I had built a Power BI dashboard. So this was one of my projects. And thirdly, I had, as I mentioned, Kaggle dataset projects on machine learning. And secondly, I also had a kind of I had also tried to build a decent GitHub portfolio for myself, where I had kind of this analytics projects, and I had kind of lining them up into my resume. So all these three things I had used for that, which kind of made me like uh kind of shine out as a candidate for this role.
Got it. Got it. So what I can infer is you're saying that we need to work on multiple projects. Let's say you are tackling or aiming for analyst roles, then we should focus on projects that actually showcase those skills. Like as you said, you were aiming for analyst roles and you have worked on Power BI and other dashboarding tools. So that really helped you to showcase your skills.
Yeah.
And in the similar way, once you work on the project, we need to update the same on GitHub as well so that you can showcase them.
Yes.
So that's like the USP for your profile, I would say.
Yes.
Yeah, so that is really helpful. So yeah, that will help a lot of students, I would say. So yeah. Now, like, could you just brief about your interview with your company? Like, when did you apply for it? Like, how did they reach out to you? How many rounds were there? And what kind of questions they were asked? And you also told that you were focusing on lead code as well. And and many people have this question. Like nowadays, most of the companies are asking DSA questions, right? And which is obvious when it comes to a big product-based companies, they will definitely ask DSA questions. Is it the case with these roles as well, like for analyst roles as well as data scientist roles? So do they ask DSA questions as well? And if they ask, what is the level of the DSA question? Is that hard, medium, or low? If it is possible, you can just try to gauge the questions in these levels. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure, sure.
Yeah.
So for me, it was a campus placement procedure. I think it was around August 2021. My company came for campus placements, and I was hired basically through campus placement. That's what I mean to say. And answering your second question as to how the coding questions are. So yeah, for my company and for what I feel for this analyst roles or data analyst roles, the coding questions that would be asked would be like fairly easy to medium level. Like if there has to be any like kind of measurement which I would like to like answer is like say those lead code easy questions. Lead code easy questions.
Okay.
Mostly for analyst roles or data analyst roles, you would be asked at best this lead code easy questions. And if on your bad day, you might ask some lead code medium questions.
Got it.
But that would be on your bad day, as I said.
Yeah. Understood. Yeah.
But not anything any tougher than that. And also, you won't be asked all those like system design questions and all that. That won't be asked. If it's a machine learning engineering question, then obviously engineering interview, then obviously you can be asked. But
Got it.
it's aside for analyst, data analyst roles, you won't be kind of guided too much as compared when you come through your programming part. However, for analyst, data analyst roles, analyst or data analyst roles, another thing you need to like be strong in is databases. As in my interview also, I was asked a lot of fair amount of questions on SQL and also on databases in general, how you handle data. And and thirdly, I was also asked some basic statistics questions just to like measure my understanding of how, like if a data set is given to me, how I would kind of like proceed with it. So statistics also. And another thing I was asked, and also which I researched later, is getting common in data science interviews is guesstimates. So for me, I was also asked a guesstimate, but it was more of a very known guesstimate. As you can understand, a lot of this guesstimate examples are there on the internet. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I actually was aware that my company asked guesstimates in interviews, so I had prepared for it beforehand, so I was able to answer it.
Got it.
So yeah, so I'd also like to add is that for data science interviews nowadays, besides statistics, machine learning, and programming, I think case studies and guesstimates are also becoming common nowadays.
Got it. Got it. So yeah, like we both know what are guesstimates. Like, could you just tell the audience like what is a guesstimate? So could you just do that? Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
could you can just create a simple question? I would say that would be better rather than explaining the whole thing because it might be little difficult to explain. I feel.
Uh-huh. So let's say like uh, it's been a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. No problem. No problem. Like, if you have any example of a question, um, that's fine. Otherwise, they will simply Google it. So that's not a problem. I would say. Yeah.
Since this was something which I had particularly reserved for the interviews, and after that I hadn't like ever had that opportunity to walk on a guesstimate or think about a guesstimate, so I am kind of unaware of it. But rest of
Got
that
it.
is very easily available on Google, and there are very known sites which where you can study guesstimates, like Gits for Git, for example. I think.
Got it. Got it. I can think of one example. So you can say whether it's correct or not. Like, given a region, I would say, given Bangalore, how many people,
How many
how
people?
many people are literate? So
Yeah. How many
we need
light
to,
bulbs are there in Bangalore? Like
yeah,
literally random questions like this.
yeah. So we need to take some hypothetical case and try
Yeah.
to,
Right.
like, in that case, they're just trying to analyze our thinking
Yes. Yes.
ability, I feel, rather than the correct answer, right?
Yeah.
Is that the case? Yeah. Cool,
The
cool.
main thing is to like go with the interviewer and try to make him understand your thought process. The main answer is
Got
not
it.
they don't care how many light bulbs are there in Bangalore or how many different
Got
people
it.
are there in Bangalore. It's just how you think. That's what they're concerned about.
Got it. Got it. Got it. So yeah, so that answers that question, I would say. And yeah, one more question like related to the analyst itself. So, as a fresher, like how much a particular person can expect as a fresher for the analyst roles? So, if it is possible, you can give a range in which you got the package, or you can just mention like on average how an analyst gets. Yeah,
So, firstly, it depends a bit like for campus placements, basically, it depends a lot, unfortunately, on the college tier. So, if one is from a tier one college, for
yeah,
analyst roles, one can expect around 7 to 11 LPS. Like,
great,
yeah,
great. Yeah,
and subsequently for the tier two colleges, tier three colleges, it would be around that.
I
They
think. Okay,
so yeah, so if I had to pick a lower range, I would say around 5 LPA, and
got
higher range would be 11 to 12 LPA for tier one college, and
got it.
even more for that also. Like it's obviously sky is the
Yeah, yeah, that's true. So the minimum is five they can get, like on average, we would say, and the high can be as much as possible. That will depend on a lot of factors, as we said. Yeah. So one last question I would like to ask, like, what is the suggestion for the people who are trying to transition to data science? Like, they might be a fresher or they are trying to transition from different field to data science. Like, what is your suggestion? So suggestion in the sense like, what actually they should focus on, what are the resources they can refer, like you can just suggest few resources if you want, and what are the topics they want to focus on, like who want to become an analyst, I would say. Yeah.
yes. Sure. So for freshers, like firstly, don't make the same mistakes as I did. Don't just simply jump into a Kaggle data set and
Yeah.
kind of apply machine learning algorithms and think that this is all data science is. So firstly, clear your basics, clear your statistics basics. I think statistics is the main like initial hurdle you need to cross, and then you can obviously jump onto this like other tougher machine learning algorithms, and then there is deep learning and neural networks, all that. So
Got it.
I'll say if you would ask me about a resource, the book I mentioned, like ODE 50 Essential Concepts for Statistics Concepts for Data Scientists, that is one an excellent resource for learning statistics, I feel. I also had done another course from Khan Academy, Statistics and Probability.
Right. Yeah.
That was the second thing I had done. And yeah, so firstly build up on the statistics part, then kind of try to work on these algorithms. First, start with regressions. Don't just because I said ML algorithm doesn't mean that we jump into AdaBoost, XGBoost. First,
Yeah.
start with regressions. then go into bagging boosting, then you can go into like the advanced deep learning algorithms. And
Got it.
also deep learning has also a lot of other sub branches, computer
Yeah.
vision, for example. Then
Yeah.
there is LSTMs, then there is like NLP also a sub
Yeah.
part.
Yeah.
So yeah, so this is actually the one of the problems I face. Like as I mentioned, this is vast thing. Like you see data science, you see statistics, you see machine learning, you see deep learning, you see computer vision, and you just get baffled. So rest
Okay.
aside, on an analyst to data analyst level, or even for data analyst level, the maximum you need is knowledge of good knowledge of statistics and a good knowledge of this machine learning algorithms, still tagging and boosting all that. And obviously, at times you will require some deep learning knowledge, probably LSTMs, since LSTMs are becoming very common in like predicting forecasting. So
Forecasting.
LSTMs are becoming very common in forecasting. So you would might need some knowledge of deep learning, but that won't be too much. At an analyst level, your main job would not only to build a model, but also to extract insight from the model. So and inside extraction part, in most cases, you won't be requiring all those like higher range algorithms that I mentioned. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, and for studying these algorithms, also, I think there are a lot of the resources on YouTube which will teach you this regressions, this bagging boosting concepts, the deep learning concepts. Yeah, so if you can, like, there are a lot of channels I can mention. Maybe StatQuest on YouTube is a great resource for learning like machine learning algorithms. Also, some channels I still follow. Ritik Math. There's one channel. Where like this guy really like breaks out each machine learning algorithm into its
Yeah.
core mathematical concepts. So I
Yeah.
really like his videos. Yeah.
Got it.
So yeah. So this is it basically. So I would say like just build by step. You try to build your like journey into data science. Don't just jump into anything. Don't just jump into stock market prediction using LSTMs.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Got it. That sounds good. Like just to summarize, like whatever you have said, the first thing is stick with basics. So
Yeah.
whatever you're learning, first be strong at the basics,
Yeah.
and then try to work on projects and try to build that analytical.
Yeah. I forgot to mention obviously on the side work on projects, because that's going to actually help to translate your academic knowledge into like something which was which should actually help you transition into this field, whether already in an organization or whether you are trying to apply for an organization. Obviously, work on projects on the side. Yeah,
Got
that's
it. Got it. And the third thing is like step by step procedure. Like we shouldn't try to learn everything at once. Instead, we need to pick a topic, learn that first, and then go on to the next step. So it should be like a step by step process rather than learning as a whole.
right.
So yeah, so that is cool. So these three were the main things I would say. Is there something you need to add, or that somewhere does it summarize well?
I think that's pretty much it, and you have done a great job in summarizing it. Obviously.
Cool, cool, cool. So yeah, that sounds good, I would say. So this is the last question, and yeah, I hope it went well. So
Yeah,
that's
it
all.
was great interacting with you.
Great, 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 Ayan. So that's good to hear. And yeah, thank you, Ayan. Thank you for sharing your story. Thanks a lot for joining us. And thank you guys for watching. Please do subscribe our channel, and let's meet in next video. Till then, keep learning, keep hustling. Thank you.